Welcome, everyone, to the Decentralized Masters podcast. I am John, and in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about a few news stories that I've actually came across these last couple of days, even these last couple hours. Really interesting topics, but we're going to start off as usual with the crypto bubbles. Let's start off with the monthly. Looking at the monthly, we do see a little bit of green all across the board. Mostly hype has been performing really well. And we do also see a few tokens such as SPX, which is a meme coin, also doing pretty well on the monthly. But overall, keep in mind, a lot of these tokens are still down 60 to 80%. So even though you do see red all across the board, last month they were in green. So just keep that in mind. Monthly looking decent. On the weekly, we do see a little bit of bleeding all across the board, 20 to 30%. If you guys remember last week, I've mentioned how there is a possibility of a correction coming in. So that's actually what we're looking at right now. And of course, because of the tension with wars and missiles being launched and things like that, also has been sparking up the markets as well. But taking a look at the daily, if we go ahead and take a look at, actually, that's the daily. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hourly. Looking at the hourly, we see a little bit of green across the board. But, we usually don't really go ahead and go based on the hourly. I prefer the daily, just so you can kind of see how the day ended. But a little bit neutral, nothing too crazy. Honestly, nothing negative that I've seen personally. But taking a look at the fear and greed index, we currently do see high levels of 68 of greed. Last week, we were also at greed at 71. And last month, we were at 74 on the greed level. So as you've seen these last couple of weeks, we've been on the greed zone. So now it's time for us to get this correction that we're seeing. Super healthy correction, totally normal. So do not freak out or panic. Everything is going according to plan. Now, keep a big reminder, tomorrow is a big event, a big day. Tomorrow, the Fed will be talking. So let's go ahead and see if the Fed has anything positive for us to go ahead and hear. So just expect a lot of volatility in the market. I really wouldn't do anything too aggressive. I would personally just wait until the Fed meeting, see how the market reacts, and then make a decision. But I wouldn't be doing anything due to the fact that we do have the Fed meeting coming up. So just be very, very cautious, be aware. And for all of you that are part of our community of Decentralized Masters, we do also have Tan that is going to be going live tomorrow doing his market update. So highly, highly recommend you guys go ahead and check that out. If you are part of our community, go ahead and go over on the left-hand side on Circle. It should say market update and register. You definitely do not want to go ahead and miss out on that. But yeah, just keep a big reminder on that. Fed meeting is tomorrow. Now, a few news that I really wanted to talk about. This one's actually a little bit more that I want to gear towards, and then we'll talk about the other one. But we've actually went ahead and got a major win. The Senate actually passes a stablecoin bill, which is definitely a big accomplishment for the U.S. And what you're going to go ahead and see right now in the next following posts is that you're going to see a lot of positive news coming out, but yet the market is doing the opposite. And this is a very common thing that we see in the market. Market does terrible when we have good news, and then when we have bad news, it does actually well. One great example is the whole entire Elon and Trump thing. The market actually went up, surprisingly. So this is pretty big news for the U.S. Now, a lot of banks are now basically getting the okay to go ahead and issue their own stablecoin, or now start taking payments in USDC. If you guys remember a few weeks ago, actually more like a few months ago, a little bit over a year now, I've been talking about how the closest to a CBDC will be USDC, and here we have it. Not my surprise at all, but if you really go ahead and read into the article, they mention how this is going to go ahead and change the economy due to the fact that with stablecoins, in order for them to be backed one-to-one, they do need to have, or they usually traditionally go for having cash on hand and also buying other treasuries and bonds from the U.S. So I think that's one of the major shifts of what they're doing, because they do see that the dollar is weakening. So it looks like they're trying to do something to keep it up. But this is a major, major win that we actually had today regarding the crypto market. So really, really positive. Another thing right here that I wanted to touch on a little bit, JP Morgan moves further into crypto with a stable-like token. And this token that they're going to be releasing is called JPMD. It's going to be an alternative to a stablecoin, not exactly a stablecoin. Really what they're doing with this token is that they're going to be using it for commercial banking just to make transfers. think of basically like XRP. They're going to have their own XRP token, which is going to be JPMD. Keep in mind, this is one of the main reasons why I love the XRP community. XRP is good, but one of the main reasons why I always thought XRP was hype on that end is that a lot of these banks are going to run their own thing. They're going to want to run their own blockchain instead of going into a blockchain that's already out there. In this case, I would say XRP. A lot of banks would rather go ahead and create their own blockchain so they can have that control, right? So that's where I've always been a little bit two-sided, but I do still believe XRP is going to perform very well. But keep in mind, this is what JP Morgan is doing. And once a very long time ago, I would say over 5 to 10 years, he was very, very against cryptocurrency and saying how cryptocurrency is a scam. And now look at him today. Pretty obvious. Markets have changed a lot. And this is the biggest adoption that we've ever had with cryptocurrencies. Very, very exciting time to be part of the market. But as you see right here, the new product is going to be called the deposit token that is designed to serve as a digital representation of commercial bank money. JP Morgan said the benefit of launching a deposit token over a stablecoin is the close connection with traditional banking systems. And keep in mind, this is what a lot of banks are going to want to have. They're going to want to have control. That's one of the main reasons why I've always been a little bit iffy about people saying, yeah, XRP technology is going to be used in everywhere. A lot of these institutions are going to rather create their own. But I do know at one point Bank of America was working with the Ripple network. Not sure where that's at. But yeah, pretty big news, I would say. And also pretty massive news. Coinbase is now seeking U.S. SEC approval to offer blockchain-based stocks. You heard that right. They're looking to go ahead and become an all-in-one platform offering stocks into Coinbase. I think this would be definitely a big game changer. They are looking to go ahead and put these stocks into the blockchain. Isn't that really cool? I mean, if they do this, they will be the first ones. And if you guys remember, I've always been a big believer in Coinbase. I'm telling you, Coinbase will be I can't even speak right now. Dominator of this market. They're going to try to go ahead and have as much control when it comes to being exposed to the crypto assets and overall the crypto market overall. So Coinbase is doing a great job with that. Their blockchain-based chains are really good, very low fees. CBBTC came from also Coinbase. So Coinbase is doing very big things. They were also one of the first crypto companies to go public as well. So Coinbase has definitely paved the way for the rest of these exchanges to follow suit. As you guys have heard, Kraken is now planning of also going IPO in early 2026. And we just had Circle go IPO about 2-3 weeks ago. So you're seeing a trend right now. A lot of companies are now taking advantage due to the fact that regulation is more in crypto's favor now than it was ever before. And now more companies are willing to go ahead and do business in the US and also expand their headquarters, which is really good. And now we are seeing Coinbase trying to get approval for base stocks. Blockchain-based stocks is what I meant to say. Another thing that's pretty big is crypto platform Tron strikes a deal with the NASDAQ to go ahead and list their company. So guess what? Justin Sun's crypto platform Tron has reached a deal with NASDAQ-listed company SRM Entertainment, under which it will buy tokens and be renamed Tron Incorporated and have Sun join the company as an advisor. What do you guys think about that? I'm telling you, a lot of these companies are now going public in the stock market. This is kind of crazy to say that, Tron is basically going public in the NASDAQ. I don't know exactly when they're going to go ahead and do that. It doesn't really say much right here. It does say that a private investors, 100 million equity investment valued at 210. And that doesn't really tell us much. It doesn't really tell us a day of when they're planning of going live. But keep in mind, Justin Sun also had that very expensive dinner with Trump. If you guys remember, Trump was doing that contest where, like, if you were one of the biggest whales, you were going to be invited to this exclusive dinner. I remember that we were making fun of his steak that he was eating. It looked pretty terrible. But I mentioned to Tristan, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that this is a networking event mostly, what they're trying to do and what are the odds. Justin Sun is now doing this, and guess what? He also even if you read it here, he's also pretty close ties with Trump's World Liberty Financial Venture Capital, which they also Sun actually went ahead and included USD1 on the Tron network, which for all of you that might not know, USD1 is Trump's stablecoin. And there's a lot of very back and forth things with Justin Sun and Tron in general. There was a case, you could even look it up, but one of the biggest ones, like even when we look at it right here, it was somewhere in here. Let's see. So there was a civil fraud lawsuit by the U.S. Securities, the SEC. Sun has been put on hold because of that. But yeah, there was I guess an investigation going. Looks like there's a pause now, and now he is going public with his company. Very strong connections. Another big thing that has been happening in the space actually got announced yesterday. Trump branded wireless service is planning to go live, and they're looking to go ahead and launch his gold phone. And one of their biggest things that they're really trying to focus on is that their plan is going to be only $47 a month. So what do you guys think about that? Would you guys be buying a Trump branded wireless service phone? That's pretty interesting. I mean, it looks like they're really trying to get control of a lot of things. They're pretty involved in the crypto space. His son did actually went ahead and announce that Trump himself has no part of this at all, and that they're the ones running all of this. I'm not sure that really makes a difference, but that's really the narrative that's being pushed. But pretty interesting. I mean, I haven't come across a site. Oh, it looks like it's right here. I tried looking for it yesterday. I couldn't come across anything. So let's see what this looks like. The 47 planned. So it tells you right here what they're looking to offer. Limited talk, all you can talk for $47 a month. That's pretty interesting. And then you could also pre-order the Trump phone with the price tag of $499 with a down payment of $100. Status coming soon. And the mobile is phone 8000. It almost looks like an iPhone, if you ask me. And yeah, so it looks like, so it's going to have fingerprint sensors, AI face unlock. I mean, typical technology. It's going to be priced at $499, and there is a down payment of $100. That's pretty cool. Storage, 12 gigabytes. That's terrible. Actually, that's not that bad for a phone. Security, we've already went over that. Nothing too impressive as far as the specs. They're going to be using operating system under Android 15. I'm gonna look a little bit more into this. I don't know. Maybe I just go ahead and pre-order a phone just to see what that looks like. I know Solana is also having a phone, so that's the one I'm a little bit more excited for, the Solana phone, which personally I haven't done the purchase yet. I have to go ahead and do that. I forgot about that. But yeah, Solana is coming out with their phone. Last bull run, when they released their first mobile phone, Solana had the airdrop of Bonk. That is the first Solana meme coin. And a lot of people made a lot of money. They made thousands of dollars because they got airdrop these tokens just from buying the phone. So that's one of the main reasons why there's a lot of anticipation to this Solana phone. And of course, it is going to be basically running on the blockchain, which is pretty big. So this is definitely going to be a phone that you want to consider if you want to be definitely doing blockchain related things. But I don't think it still tells us when it's going to go live. Like it's been going like this for about almost a year. It's still yet for them to announce the actual date, but I think it should be releasing early Q2 for the Solana phone. I'm gonna look more into it. I might consider buying me one of those. I am in need of a second phone. Kind of want to get rid of it. So we'll see. There's a lot of new things coming out. Samsung's also coming out with a new phone next month. And then we also have, what is it called? iPhone coming out with a new phone. So a lot of new devices. I like tech, so that kind of excites me a bit. But anyways, stock market today took a hit. Oil did rise due to the whole entire conflict with Israel and Iran. that is putting a lot of spotlight, and that is what is actually causing a lot of volatility in the market currently. I do believe all of this will be gone in the next couple of weeks, and everyone will forget, and it'd be like nothing ever happened. So don't go ahead and play into the game. I would recommend, if you guys are considering of staying out of the market, just consider going into something like as simple as Harvest, deposit your USDC here. Of course, not financial advice, and just let it do its thing. Be patient. This market's going to be very, very volatile. One day is up, one day is down. That's part of the market. But keep in mind, guys, we are almost to the finish line. Hold on tight. Fed meeting tomorrow. And then there's a high probability from what they're saying, and it's rumored that the Fed is more than likely going to be cutting rates in September, which is a very positive thing for risk on assets, such as the assets that we're in. So I am expecting the stock market to make new all-time highs very soon, and also crypto in general, specifically Ethereum. Ethereum has been holding on very, 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 very well, surprisingly, and it has been holding on to the support that we were expecting for it to hold. But before I go in any deeper, I want to quickly just take a look at how the NASDAQ is performing. So the NASDAQ right now is also in this consolidation point. The question is, will it go ahead and correct more? Could be a possibility. That's where I'm a little bit uncertain, and why I'm just going to wait for the market to do its thing. Because I did actually kind of zoom out, and I've noticed this possible big, massive inverse head and shoulders pattern that could be forming. So maybe we do drop all the way down to this range right here, and then we reverse back up. And if we could go ahead and get this correction right here, this is going to be super, super nice. So you could be expecting, there could be a 3% drop in the stock market, possibly, if we do see this inverse head and shoulders pattern play out. We'll see. If it can't hold this range, if we get more bad news tomorrow, there could be a possibility we correct even further, which I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've been holding on to powder on the side, USDC ready to deploy into the market. So if the stock market does take this dip, not only will I be throwing money into the stock market, but I'm also going to be throwing money into crypto. So I think a lot of good buying opportunities should be coming up. We'll see if this happens. If we do get this correction, like I mentioned, could be a possibility we do see a 3% correction in the stock market, which could definitely take a hit on Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market. But just keep that in mind. As I mentioned, I do think this could be a buying opportunity coming very soon. So that's why, for me personally, I'm going to be waiting. It doesn't hurt me to wait by the end of the week, see how the market reacts. And if it does dump even further, then we're going to get a nice, juicy discount. So I want to deploy more capital into the stock market, but right now I think it's just way too high. I bought in like down over here. So I'm already like almost 40% up on my position. So right now it wouldn't make sense to throw more money. So I'm hoping for this correction to happen, so I could also now throw that money into crypto as well. So a lot of opportunities to make money, very, very exciting times. Really reminds me of the pandemic. So I think we could be seeing a very similar run once rate cuts happen. So very exciting times. We could be seeing that altcoin season sooner than we all expect. So that is some very positive news. Now onto gold. Gold has actually been picking up in strength. I mentioned how I did not want to go ahead and see this. I was hoping that this was a double top and we would see this rejection coming up, but because of what's going on right now currently with all this fear, people are throwing their money into gold and would rather be into gold than a volatile asset such as, the stock market or even just cryptocurrency. So this is one of the main reasons why we've been seeing a strength in gold. And as you guys know, gold is an inverse correlation to crypto. So if crypto goes down, gold goes up, or vice versa. And if gold goes up, crypto goes down. If gold goes down, crypto goes up. So it's an inverse correlation. So what we want to definitely go ahead and see is gold take a hit. How's it going, Russ? Good afternoon. Hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure to comment, guys. Smash that like button. Chad, my favorite crypto segment of the week. Glad to have you here, Chad. Always showing love and support. But yeah, gold right now, it's not looking too good for me. I actually did buy a little bit of gold. I actually bought this chain right here. I bought it a few days ago, actually 2 days ago. So I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I made an investment in gold. Might as well buy a chain. So bought this chain. I do have another one that I haven't the clasp broke and I never got it fixed. But I was like, you know what? Let me diversify a little bit more. It's been a while since I've bought physical gold. So I actually just bought this chain. It is solid. So that's usually the investments I do with gold. It would be jewelry, but it's been a while. But anyways, yeah, gold is showing strength, but as I mentioned, not what I'm looking forward to. And now let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right here, currently right now is holding at around this $104,000. I did mention there could be a possibility of Bitcoin getting rejected and coming down to this $92,000. And this $92,000, guys, keep in mind, could mean the NASDAQ or the stock market in general taking that 3% correction. And this, once again, what I'm seeing is this possible massive inverse head and shoulders pattern also forming for Bitcoin. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a correction in 92 and then we see that reversal. And like I mentioned, this is where most people are going to panic. So this is kind of one of the main reasons why I'm not being too aggressive in the market right now, because right now I'm waiting to see, will it be able to hold support? Will it break up or would it break down? And if it breaks down, that's going to be a buying opportunity. So for me personally, I don't mind waiting a couple more days. We should be seeing some sort of reaction. But to be completely honest with you, Ethereum's actually been doing really, really well. Like, I'm actually more bullish on ETH than Bitcoin. And I'm wondering if Bitcoin dominance has shifted. We're going to take a look at that together right now. But Ethereum has been holding nicely at around the support. Really has impressed me. Of course, it's all gonna come down to, will it be able to bounce back from this $2,300 and retest this $2,800? And if we do see that breakout, guys, we're gonna be seeing a nice little run and pump on altcoins. So I'm hoping we could be seeing a move like this. This is what I'm actually expecting. If we do see Bitcoin correct to that $93,000, I do think there's a high probability we could be seeing Bitcoin dominance fall and Ethereum break out. Realistically, I mean, the reason why I say that is because compared to what Ethereum has been doing to Bitcoin, in my opinion, Ethereum looks more bullish. Of course, Bitcoin still hasn't confirmed that it is going to break down, but it is definitely showing signs of weakness. We're seeing it right here. We're seeing it right here. And we're seeing it right here. But keep in mind, maybe something tomorrow the Fed says that it's positive, reverses the market, and flying we go, which is also very possible, right? So that's one of the main reasons why I would say just be very cautious with the market right now. Be very careful with leverage trading. I'm glad I did not put any trades these last couple of weeks, as I was planning on putting some trades here. But I'm possibly waiting to short Bitcoin, and I probably will be taking a short on Bitcoin if I do see it fall below this 104. Probably this 103, 102 is where I'm going to get comfortable, because more than likely it will start coming down to 93. If we can't break above this 103 again, if we fall below it, then I do think that Bitcoin more than likely will come down to at least between either 99 or this $93,000 range. But Bitcoin, in my opinion, is looking a lot weaker than Ethereum. Ethereum, in my opinion, is looking very positive. And like I said, so far it has been holding strength very, very well, despite the fact of the market conditions. Of course, the meme coins and the volatile assets are taking a little bit more of a bigger hit. But as you see for Ethereum, it has been holding nicely for about almost 39 days. And I just say almost because I don't know exactly where I'm measuring it. You would want to count it. You could count it pretty much, from this candlestick or the first candlestick, the second one, really depending on how you count this. But it's about 39 days that Ethereum has been holding this range, which is very, very positive. So of course, if it does break below, it's not going to be too positive for Ethereum. Now let's look at the bearishness for Ethereum. If we were to see this breakdown with Ethereum, which I also wouldn't be surprised if we were to see Ethereum like slightly drop like to 22 and then just like reverse, shake everyone out. I mean, it's a very common thing. They do this very, very commonly in the market, where people are going to be positioning themselves for longs and shorts, and they liquidate both sides. It's a liquidity grab, liquidity event. So just be prepared. We could be seeing that. So just be very cautious with leverage trading. Make sure to put stop losses if you do not want to go ahead and take a big hit. But overall, I do think that, in my opinion, Ethereum's looking a lot more positive than Bitcoin. Of course, time will tell. But let's go ahead and quickly take a look at Bitcoin dominance and see how things are coming along with that. And let's go ahead and see how that's coming. So Bitcoin dominance, it's slightly getting rejected. So as I mentioned, Bitcoin dominance is shifting. And that's probably one of the main reasons why we're seeing a little bit of strength in Ethereum. So the question is, and will Bitcoin be able to pick up in dominance, or will it start to get rejected? And for all of you that might not know, we need Bitcoin dominance to come down to start seeing those altcoins pump. That's why when Bitcoin dominance dumped from 65%, all the way to 62%. This is where you saw that 50% increase in Ethereum. So this is what we need Bitcoin to do. And the question is, will it be able to break past the 65% right here for Bitcoin for dominance, or would it break down below? Of course, we want to see it break down below, but of course, right now, I will say we are seeing a little bit of strength, but time will tell on this one. So give it a few more days for this to actually happen. But ideally, we would like to see Bitcoin dominance fall overall. Let's take a look at the weekly. I'm surprised and curious with how the weekly will look. Nothing interesting on the weekly. What about the monthly? Monthly, still a lot of strength into Bitcoin. So overall, as you guys know, I've been mentioning that I believe that we could probably be seeing that altcoin season that we're expecting. That big one once Bitcoin dominance hits 71% and then starts getting rejected. And this is just all due to the last bull market. So the last bull market, Bitcoin dominance topped at around 74%. And if you guys see what we're looking at right now, we're not that far away. We're about a 13% move. And this is one of the main reasons why I'm telling all of you, hold on tight. I know the market right now looks very scary, but DCA whenever you get the opportunity, because I do think personally this is a once in a lifetime that we're going to have this opportunity to buy low. And once the market flips, things are going to go berserks, in my opinion. And you're seeing all the positive things. These big companies are going public, very positive things. So take advantage of that. Of course, wait for confirmation. But if you haven't been buying the dips these last couple, I would say last 2 months, I would consider start your DCA strategy now, as soon as possible, right? Of course, I would wait for the FOMC meeting tomorrow, wait for that to happen, and then make your decision. So I would say consider making a decision by next week to start your DCA strategy journey. But I highly, highly would recommend that to consider dollar cost averaging if you haven't even bought the dips these last 4 months. Like if you didn't buy the dips this last month and a half, definitely start that DCA strategy ASAP. But yeah, things are looking positive to me overall. The DXY right now, we are seeing a weaker dollar, which is exactly what we need on the monthly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily. And yeah, dollar has been continuing to get demolished. And this is kind of the main reason why the stock market has been going up. So I do believe we will be seeing the stock market making new all-time highs very soon. But if we do get that 3% correction, as I mentioned, don't freak out. It is healthy. So if you are also exposed to the stock market, consider buying those dips, because I definitely am. And for all of you asking what stocks am I mostly investing to? Believe it or not, I'm mostly investing in just crypto-related companies like Coinbase, Riot, crypto miners, and things like that. So things that are actually related to crypto. So I'm actually taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach to the stock market on my stocks, but I'm also being exposed to commodities such as oil. Highly recommend you guys check out Gush, GUSH. It is a leverage position on oil, but that is doing actually pretty well right now because of what's going on. But with that being said, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful, great rest of your day. Also a week for all of you that are in our private community. I'll go ahead and see you guys soon in my next office hours. That should be coming up in a few minutes. And for all of those that are not in our community, check the link down below. Go ahead and join our free community. With that being said, I hope you all have a good one. And I'm definitely looking forward for Thursday. I'm sure we'll have a lot of things to talk about with Tristan. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys all soon. Later.